Good morning, one and all present here, and a very warm welcome to this inspiring gathering. I, Drishti Khandelwal,
and I, Harshavardhan,
are your host for today. Today isn't just a start of an event, it is a continuation of a movement as we align ourselves with the theme of transformative reforms in higher education under the National Education Policy 2020. We are stepping into a new era of learning where flexibility, innovation, and inclusivity aren't just buzzwords but action points.
This is a time when education is shifting from memorizing to meaning, from rigid systems to dynamic ecosystems. And the conversations we have today are part of shaping that shift. So let's engage, question, reflect, and collaborate because transformation begins not just with policy but with participation. With that, let's officially inaugurate this session and take the first step towards the future of higher education.
May we request Dr. T.G. Sitaram, Professor L.S. Ganesh, Professor M. Bhaskar Rao, Professor Sanjeev Datta to come up on stage and take a seat. We also request Srimati Shubharani Yashashvi Garu and Sri V.R. Shankara Garu to come for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp with the invocation song simultaneously. And we request J.N. Reddy sir to also join us for the ceremonial lighting of the lamp, symbolizing the dispelling of darkness and ushering in of knowledge and wisdom with the invocation song simultaneously. Thank you for the wonderful rendition. Now we would like to take a moment to offer a brief introduction about the IFHE Foundation for Higher Education, a deemed to be university based in Hyderabad. It is a NAC A++ institution known for academic excellence and innovation, with globally recognized schools in business, law, science and technology, and architecture. IFHE blends rigorous academics with industry relevance, its student-centric approach, a world-class infrastructure, a commitment to ethics and employability, make it a leader in India's higher education landscape. To top it all off, we are proud to have the world's number one case research center in terms of authorship, surpassing even Harvard. Let us now take a moment to watch the teaser of the IFHE Foundation of Higher Education.
Innovation, excellence, and research. Yeah.
Yes, it's for internship. With internship, where the employee is supposed to work with the legal firm for about 30 to 45 days. A day is summer, and they will be attached to legal firms. Then they will be exposed to practical implementation. We are arranging wrestling tests from wrestling professionals, including our athletes on wrestling. Also, we are conducting hackathons, hackathons, to provide the platform for students in latest emerging technology areas would improve their skill set and technological ability. These are some of our best-selling cases which people have been using, so they are and enrich their knowledge and skills, especially on emerging contemporary knowledge. MBA program is a mini India. But most of the other programs are dominated by people from in and around Hyderabad or perhaps Delhi.
If excellence had a signature, it would bear the name Professor M. Bhaskara, Coordinator for Accreditations and Ranking. He is the Nodal Officer of AICTE and SWAYAM. With a distinguished career spanning over 40 years, Professor Rao has seamlessly blended academic brilliance with institutional leadership. From leading role at KLEF to shaping the academic vision of IFHE Business School. His contributions have been both deep and wide-ranging. His work with ISTD, editorial responsibilities, and multiple postgraduate graduate credentials reflect a relentless pursuit of knowledge and impact. A mentor, a leader, and a scholar. Professor Rao is not just shaping education, he's shaping future. We now invite you, sir, to grace the podium and share a few words about the conference.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning, all. Namaskaram. Distinguished Professor Sitaram Garu, Chairman, ASDE, Professor Rangarajan, Chancellor, IFHE Foundation for Higher Education, Lieutenant General Dr. Venkatesh, Vice Chancellor, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, who is online, is present online. Srimati Shobharani Yashashri, Madam, Chairperson of IFHE Society, Sri Shankara Sir, President, IFHE Society, Professor L.S. Ganesh, Vice Chancellor, IFHE, Professor Rajshekar and Pillai, Vice Chancellor, Somaya Vidyavihar University, and member of our Executive Council, Professor J. Mahendra Reddy Garu, Senior Advisor, the IFHE Society, Professor O.R.S. Rao Garu, Chancellor, IFHE University, Sikkim, Professor Uday Desai, Member, Academic Council, IFHE, Professor Sudhakar Rao, Director, Branding, Professor Srimati Vijayalakshmi Garu, Registrar, Senior Leadership Team of IFHE, Professor Venugopal Rao Garu, Professor Narayan Garu, Professor Abhishekar Raj Garu, Professor Shailajan Garu, Professor Manar Pasha Garu, Kalal Vishwanath, Director Administration, Professor Shashikala, Controller of Examinations, Professor K.D. Srinivas, Director for Placements, Deans, Associate Deans, Area Heads, Senior Librarian, Faculty Colleagues, Professional Staff, distinguished members present online, those who are viewing the proceedings on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome. It is indeed my great pleasure and a profound sense of privilege that I welcome this esteemed gathering of scholars, researchers, educators, thought leaders to this two-day International Conference on Transformative Reforms in Higher Education hosted by the IFHE Foundation for Higher Education. We are deeply honored by your presence here today. Professor Rangarajan, the Chancellor of IFHE, could not attend the conference personally. He has sent us his message. It is my privilege and honor to read his message to this august audience. Here is the Chancellor's message. I am pleased to know that the IFHE Foundation for Higher Education is organizing a conference on transformative reforms in higher education, best practices in implementation of NEP 2020 today and tomorrow. Since the last 5 years, NEP 2020 has presented several developmental opportunities and challenges in the context of the structure, content, and operations of the entire education system in our nation. By examining it holistically while identifying the building blocks to formulate the policy. This conference provides an opportunity to institutional stakeholders to reflect upon the last 5 years articulate and share examples of successful efforts, and look ahead to renewed and continued efforts towards effecting the required changes in order to realize the objectives of access, equity, quality, and autonomy. I wish the conference organizers and all participants a very valuable and interactive learning and sharing experience. We miss Professor Rangarajan amongst us here today, but we value his good wishes immensely. Thank you very much, sir. This conference is not only a platform to present research and exchange ideas, but also a space for reflection, collaboration, and envisioning the new trajectories in the implementation of NEP 2020. In times of rapid global changes and evolving educational landscapes, such academic congregations are vital for fostering interdisciplinary dialogue and cultivating communities of practice. The theme of the conference is focused on critically engaging with current challenges while exploring transformative opportunities in higher education. Over the next 2 days, we look forward to stimulating keynotes, thought-provoking panels, and insightful table presentations that will enrich our collective understanding. The journey of NEP implementation in IFHE commenced with the establishment of a cell in February 2022. IFHE, with a strategic focus on implementing the transformative reforms, has successfully navigated the educational reforms path under the able senior leadership team, coupled with the guidance of two external experts and supportive management. We are happy to report to the August gathering and to the chairman, sir, that IFHE has implemented the following aligning with the NEP 2020. I'll be very brief, sir. Launched 9 4-year undergraduate programs since the launch of NEP. Promoted interdisciplinary research through case research center and centers of excellence. Implemented automated permanent academic account registry APAR ID. Registered on DigiLocker and uploaded degree certificate of students from 2016 to 2024, and it goes on regularly. Academic rank of grades accounts have been created for all the students. Appointment of professors of practice in multiple schools, bringing industry practices into the classroom and enriching student learning. Embarking on the continuous development of knowledge and skills of faculty members by adding higher value to the students. The activities are a continuous process here, it's a way of life. Launched successful ODL and online programs offering flexibility, multi-format content, learning-centric design, application emphasis, innovation, and entrepreneurship of orientation, and a cafeteria approach to electives, thus contributing to increasing the GER in our own small way. Holistic development of students with broader perspectives by offering ability enhancement, skill enhancement, Indian knowledge systems, value-added and multidisciplinary courses, introduction of multiple entry and multiple exit in all the programs that we offer at the university, practicing a well-structured, well-organized, well-staffed internship program, focusing on skill development of students leading to enhanced and sustained employability, nurturing students' critical thinking skills and encouraging them to participate in the entrepreneurial and innovation activities, evolving an institutional development plan for meeting the long-term strategic goals, promoting practices that contribute to sustainability, promoting internationalization through multiple channels, promoting practicing assurance of learning through systematic processes for determining and achieving graduate outcomes. Sir, these are not exhaustive. Because of paucity of time, I am restricting myself to these limited implementation of NEP initiatives. The university adapts to the evolving educational environment by engaging in transformative reforms. It is a golden moment for those who are a part of this education ecosystem in general and higher education in particular. Today, we are celebrating the successful journey of transformative reforms in higher education. Incidentally, the NEP launching is completing the 5th year on the 29th of July. I think this is the right time to have this kind of a reflective conference. Let us use this opportunity not only to engage intellectually, but also build connections that extend beyond the content slots, connections that will continue to inspire and support our academic pursuits. Once again, I warmly welcome each and every one of you. Let us begin this conference with enthusiasm, curiosity, and an open mind. Thank you very much. Wish you a very happy and successful learning experience.
Sir, that was a truly insightful and an inspiring address. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and experience with us.
If wisdom had a playlist, strategy had a rhythm, and leadership or a smile, it would sound like Professor L.S. Ganesh, sweetly called by his friend as LSG Sir. Currently serving as the Vice Chancellor of our IFHE Foundation of Higher Education, Professor LSG is not just a name, he is a movement in academia. With over 3 decades of teaching, research, and institutional service, he is the professor who can make systems thinking feel like storytelling. And yes, somehow sneak in jazz references along the way. Before joining ICFI, he spent a legendary career at IIT Madras, where students and faculty alike lovingly called him LSG Sir, a name that carries weight, warmth, and a touch of rockstar swagger.
He's been a visiting professor at ISB Hyderabad, IIM Bangalore, IIM Kozhikode, NIT Trichy, and even the University of Passau in Germany. His insights have shaped programs from World Bank, UNDP, MHRD, AICTE, NBA, ISRO, FICCI, and CII. Basically, if it involves education, policy, or impact, he's probably already been there, done that, and helped redesign it. From being awarded the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Institutions Lifetime Achievement Award by the government of Tamil Nadu, to the mind being behind IIT Madras entrepreneurship program. He has mentioned students who've gone on achieving global acclaim, like Sandhya Shekhar, who, by the way, won the Best Thesis Award in the world. He's shown that real influence doesn't shout, it inspires silently but lastingly. Despite his towering achievements, he once said that his greatest achievement was being a good son to his parents, a good husband to his wife, a good father to his children, a good friend to his friends, and definitely a good son in law to his in laws. Honestly, we are still picking our jaws off the floor.
LSC Sir doesn't just teach, he shapes life. And his vision of India 2047, he says, and I quote, I would like to believe that the world realizes and accepts the great truths in Indian traditional wisdom as the epicenter of peace with dignity for one and all. So, ladies and gentlemen, get ready to be inspired by the professor who teaches with precision, mentors with purpose, and occasionally grooves to jazz. Please welcome the legend himself, Professor L.S. Ganesh.
Namaste, Namaskaram. Very good day ahead to all of you. I'm really grateful to have all of you in the audience. And of course, we are especially grateful to Professor Sitaram for having kindly consented to our request to be the chief guest of this conference. I'm also wanting to use this opportunity to pay my deep respects to my colleagues and elders in this audience. Particularly, I start from my left, it's easy left to right. I started Professor JMR, who was the immediate previous Vice Chancellor here. Then we have Professor Uday Desai. Uday Desai was the director of IIT Hyderabad. And then we have the person who has spawned open education in the country, Professor Radhakrishnan Pillai. I hope all of us can lift our collar and say that India has the largest open education system in the world. And he was just joking a little while ago that he has come across a great grandfather and a great grandson in the same family taking the degrees together because of open education. Okay. So he is that. And of course, there are many others here. And I hope, I'm sorry, the flowers sometimes fade. So I also pay my request to all my, colleagues here, Mr. Venugopal, Mr. Alan, Mr. Naval, and I think Ravi is not. Professor Sitama is also here. Thank you. Professor DSRK, Professor Sindhuja, Professor Sashikala. You know what happens sometimes? It comes to the tip of the tongue. But with that introduction, to all my colleagues, my respects to you. And also thank you for that introduction. It was very warm. Yeah. I just happened to miss and thank you for the reminder. Lieutenant General Venkatesh, Sir, namaste. Sorry that I missed you a few minutes ago. Thank you very much for having accepted our invitation to come online. And he's the leader of one of the largest higher education systems in the country with the kind of wide variety of programs that they do. Okay. So this is also to showcase sometimes our minds need to be tuned with help, with a little help from our friends. Okay. I just want to share a couple of points which are very critical for the success of the implementation of NEP 2020. These are two very important concepts in our lives, and I've tried to use them to the best of my abilities. The first one is called the window of perception. Okay, it's a very important concept, which actually you can imagine an x-axis and a y-axis, where x is time and y is space. Now you calibrate the x-axis as today, tomorrow, next week, next fortnight, next month, next quarter, next half year, next year, and you go on and on and on and on till next millennia, and the end of the x-axis is eternity. I hope you got it. Okay. The y-axis is space, spatial entities. Start with me, that's all of us. Okay, my family, my relatives, my neighborhood, my community, my state, etc. You go on and on and on and on till you reach universality. I hope you got the idea. Because the universe doesn't stop with the solar system. Are you getting it? So eternity and universality are the ends of the x and y axis. Now, this is a very important model for all of us to reflect upon. Because this was pointed out by Professor Meadows in a very famous work called The Limits to Growth, which came in the 70s. And he has not used the window of perception. I'm using the window of perception. But what the Club of Rome, which he led, pointed out to us, that most people tend to use a window of perception of the world around them as me today. And unfortunately, I find that sometimes people say me now, not even me today. So it's very important for us to understand that some of the greatest souls that have walked this planet have used nearly infinite windows of perception, almost going to eternity and universality. So I believe that the world will become a more peaceful place if people reflect upon themselves and understand what is the window of perception that they are using to observe the world around them and understand what they are doing. This relationship is very critical because when we use a smaller window of perception, we don't see many things around us. And you know that, listen, what you don't know can kill you, actually. Okay? So you have to be very, very, very careful as you go along. That's the first concept. This is very important for implementation of NEP. In fact, I would say NEP has reflected this in many ways, perhaps not directly, but you have to infer. The second one is the concept of synergy, which has to be dear. Synergy is the highest aim of any leader, actually. Okay, and synergy is that phenomenon of a system where the whole system is much more than the parts that you get. Okay, and the finest example that I've shared, which you will never forget, is that of two great tennis players, Leander Paes and Mahesh Bhupathi. Okay, individually, the highest ATP ranking, Association of Tennis Professionals ranking, that Leander Paes attained was in around 71 or 72. Whereas Mahesh Bhupathi's highest ranking in ATP singles was something like 290 plus. Now, what is the magic that a person ranked 70 plus and a person ranked 290 plus become world number one for many years? That, my dear young friends and all colleagues, is synergy. Okay, you cannot explain it other than synergy. And that is what we have to try to attain in implementing NEP. We need a hell of a lot of synergy in our system. And the biggest stumbling block to synergy, I can tell you very humbly, is our own hyper egos. If we are not able to tackle our egos, we are going nowhere in NEP 2020. I can tell you, because it's always about fixing the other rather than shaking hands with the other. So we need a cultural shift in what we do. So those are 2 points. And of course, the third point which I'll leave you with is the last degree you get is a degree in philosophy, not in electronics or mechanical engineering or economics or whatever, commerce. It is a degree in philosophy, doctor of philosophy for the thesis. So we necessarily have to be true to the degree that we have got and put on our philosophical lenses. With that, I leave you for a great conference ahead. Thank you for being here today, and thank you all. I look forward to all the speeches.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring address and visionary guidance that will undoubtedly lead us towards greater excellence. Now I would like to introduce you to somebody who is as great, if not greater, a true force of wisdom and charisma you won't forget. They say legends walk among us. Well, our guest also operates, teaches, leads, and finds time to advise DRDO. We'd like to welcome a man whose name commands respect in both surgical theatre and the corridors of academic power. Lieutenant General Dr. M.D. Venkatesh, Vice Chancellor of Manipal Academy of Higher Education. A graduate of Mysore Medical College, he joined the Army Medical Corps in 1979 and never looked back. An ENT surgeon of global caliber, he trained the cochlear implantation and neurology both in India and abroad and helped shape medical education as a founding faculty member at AFMC's Department of Medical Technology.
With over 38 years in the armed forces, he held major leadership positions: Dean of AFMC Pune, Commandant of AMC Center, and Deputy Director General of Armed Medical Services. Beyond the uniform, he serves on committees like MCI, ICMR, NAC, and advises DRDO. He is also the Chief Clinical Coordinator for trials approved by the Drug Control General of India and has been honored with two commendations from Chief of Army Staff and the Vishesh Seva Medal from the President of India.
Please join me in welcoming a man who blends military discipline, surgical precision, and academic brilliance, Lieutenant General Dr. M.D. Venkatesh.
the Prime Minister and the entire country is now focused on how does India become a knowledge-based economy by 2047, because only education can bring about this particular change that we are aspiring to be developed country by 2047. I think this particular conference is extremely topical and current. It's about reflecting on the journey of 5 years since the promulgation of national education policy in July of 2020 to this current day. Now, first of all, I feel that we have done a lot to achieve the mark of the last 5 years, but there is so much more to come. The policy outlines how to, take our national education scenario to be globally competitive and towards becoming a knowledge-based economy by 2047. It is very critical to look at periodically how we have understood national education policy, how we have planned implementation of national education policy, and what we have achieved over the last 5 years. Very happy to see that what we already mentioned about the progress of the pilot over the last 5 years, the implementation of I think many universities have been fortunate, have been very progressive and very thoughtful in implementing the national education policy. Most of the recommendations in higher education are focused in implementation in university. And Mami was more different. As soon as the national education policy was announced in July of 2020, within 3 to 4 months, we set up a task force. We developed a comprehensive implementation plan. We have created a roadmap for implementation target in a 5-year period. This roadmap addresses various issues including academic standards, faculty development, collaboration, student management, and the new program, implementing all the recommendations of the education policy. We documented our plans and shared them with all the stakeholders, including the university transformation plan, the IFHE, and other executive bodies, and to other sister universities across the country. Outlining our intentions, timelines, and evaluation methods against established benchmarks. I am very happy to state that the Transformative national education policy defines much of the recommendations that we implemented at time to the US. I only would state that 3 areas and we have achieved significant progress. One is in the excellence in education, in delivering quality education to the large number of people, bringing in multidisciplinarity in education, bringing that holistic development of students' mind and body in a strong study at the university. Next, bringing in that much required focus towards research, not necessarily only faculty research, but also the students research. The element of collaborative research and multidisciplinary research that we maintain and is now seeing the transformation change in our university. Much of the policies on research were designed, a lot of investment happened in creating first-class research infrastructure, devised the incentive policies for research incentives, brought in the much required support systems to the faculty and researchers and students, with regard bringing in the support system in terms of the journal, accessibility to journal, people. In fact, the market invested a lot of money in equity working concept to have very public agreement with very capacity for the work. We think we live up when a person finds, I think the person will have to work with development. And we're happy to state that the year of 25, close to 5,000, close to 5,525 papers.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairman.
So that was truly a thought-provoking address. Some people build careers and some build bridges, but very few, like our guest today, has managed to build both and still stay grounded like a solid foundation soil. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my absolute honor to introduce a visionary, a scholar, a nation builder, and believe it or not, a loving father, a husband, and a son with deep roots in the small town of Chitradurga. Professor Dr. T.G. Sitaram, the current chairman of All India Council of Technical Education, Government of India, is someone who truly redefines the meaning of multitasking. While many of us struggle with sending emails and drinking coffee at the same time, Dr. Sitaram has juggled leadership roles at IIT Guwahati, ISC Bangalore, AICTE, NERIST, and CIT Kokrajhar, and even served on expert panels for projects as iconic as the Ram Mandir Foundation in Ayodhya and the world's highest railway bridge over the Chenab. Coming from a humble middle class background, he carved his way to sheer brilliance with a bachelor in civil engineering, a master's from IISc, and a PhD from the University of Waterloo, Canada. He has been a lifelong academic and an internationally respected researcher.
At IISc Bangalore, he served for 30 years, guided 40 PhDs also. At IISc Bangalore, he served for 30 years, guided 40 PhD scholars, published 500 plus papers, authored 20 books, and started not one but two startups. He holds patents and fellowships from global institutions and once even listed in the Stanford University's top 2% scientists 4 years in a row. Talk about consistency, right? At home, he's just as accomplished. His wife, Dr. M.V. Anuradha, a scientist herself, and what a brilliant next generation. They are also pursuing technical fields. Truly a family where STEM isn't just an acronym, it's a lifestyle.
He was instrumental in launching SITSUP at IISc, built new multidisciplinary centers at IIT Guwahati, and served Assam's support to establish a medical school and multidisciplinary hospital at IIT Guwahati. Because why stop it at engineering when you can engineer healthcare too?
From the Sir C.V. Raman Award to Sir M. Vishweshwaraya Lifetime Achievement Award, his contributions span the earth beneath our feet to the sky of innovation above.
So please join me in welcoming a man whose foundation is as strong as his bridges and whose achievements are as vast as his vision. Professor Dr. T.G. Sitaram, the engineer who built future, the academic who shaped minds, and the leader who never forgot his roots.
Namaskaram. Very good morning to all of you. Professor L.S. Ganesh, Vice Chancellor IFHE, Guest of Honor, Lieutenant General Dr. Venkatesh, Professor Bhaskar Rao, Professor Datta, and all the distinguished guests sitting in the audience, faculty members, policy leaders, researchers, students, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me a great privilege, it's also an honor to be among you today, where we are actually discussing the transformative reforms in higher education, focusing on the best practices and implementation of national education policy. Let me first of all congratulate IFHE Foundation for Higher Education in Hyderabad which is organizing this event. Friends, the implementation of National Education Policy 2020 is a watershed reform in India's education landscape, and to deliberate on best practices that can guide our institutions in making these reforms not just aspirational but with operational realities. We have heard already three speakers talking about what are the challenges and what we have achieved. Particularly, Dr. Venkatesh emphasized how his institution has also had implemented the NEP. From my side, I would like to tell you National Education Policy 2020 is a transformative vision. It is not merely a reform document. It is 63 pages. I think some of you have not read it. Please read that. It's only 63 pages. It is a vision document for India's future. For the first time in over 3 decades, the education policy has been revised not just to reform, but to reimagine. It emphasizes access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability, and aims to position India as a global knowledge superpower. Friends, I just asked ChatGPT to write a poem about what we really achieved in it. I think all of you know that. I'll just read, this is only 4 lines. From ancient soil, fresh wisdom starts to grow. With freedom to choose the quest, young minds can flow. Skills entwined with knowledge, deep and vast, soaring high on strengths that truly last. So it's very beautifully compiled all the activities of what we want to achieve. So let me begin with a quote of Honorable Prime Minister. Today our education system is very important in achieving the goals that India of the 21st century aspired to accomplish. To make this century of India, it's very important that the youth of India is equally proficient in education as well as skill. When it comes to skills, your mantra should be skilling, reskilling, and upskilling. Quote closed. Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi. Friends, NEP 2020 emerged as a long overdue and much needed reform. The policy calls for a paradigm shift from the rote-based learning to experiential and conceptual learning. It focuses on self-learning. It focuses on technology-assisted learning and many such initiatives, collaborative learning. From rigid disciplinary silos to multidisciplinary and holistic education, from fragmented governance to integrated and transparent governance. I think Venkatesh highlighted at least 2 of the organizations, UGC and AICTE, has tried to really bring those changes during the last 2-3 years. The central theme of the National Education Policy is flexibility, lifelong learning, learner-centric, and multilingualism, and also promotion of regional languages, which are designed to prepare our youth for the 21st century global economy while grounding them in Indian values and ethos. This year marks the 5th anniversary of NEP when we come to July of the 2020. Since its launch in 2020 of July, the National Education Policy has driven significant transformation in both school and higher education. 4 years into the implementation, the 5th year is almost ending, key milestones highlight India's progress towards a more inclusive, flexible, and tech-driven education system. To highlight on the promotion of the multilingualism, traditional Indian knowledge system, and rootedness in Indian ethos, NEP has emphasized linguistic inclusivity by enabling many programs including in engineering. IICT has done it in engineering and management courses in regional languages. Almost 54 programs are being run in regional languages. The first graduates of the Marathi in BTech in engineering, computer science, graduated last 15 days back from Pune University. We have, why this is important? This is actually enhances the accessibility for students from diverse linguistic backgrounds. Many of our kids who comes from rural part of India, we have 6 lakhs plus villages. A majority of them come from that. The second point is the digital and multimodal learning initiative, such as Prime Minister E-Vidya and Diksha, have furthered educational equity. This offers students universal access to digital content and interactive learning resources. Through this, what we have achieved is, in a grass-enrollment ratio in elementary education is already touched to 94%. Multidisciplinary is the another aspect which NEP emphasizes on. No rigid separation between science, humanities, commerce, and students can study any combination of subjects. Undergraduate education will be multidisciplinary. The growth of large multidisciplinary centers, facilities, flexibility of learning is the focus. And that is what we witnessed even at AICTE. We were actually little, even earlier itself, we started including all these subjects much before the July 2020. So we have revamped courses, pedagogy, assessment, methods for more holistic development and development of critical thinking and confident individuals. Setting up the National Research Foundation is one important activity which is called as Anusandhan National Research Foundation, which improves research ecosystem. It provides and also funding. First time ever in India, National Higher Education Qualification Framework was released. It is an instrument for development, classification and recognition of qualification from level 4.5 to 8, that is the first year of undergraduate program, to doctoral program. National Education Technology Forum has been initiated at AICTE, which integrates the technology and which will make the education ecosystem more efficient. Internationalization, you heard Dr. Venkatesh speaking about it. India to become global hub of education. Campuses of Indian institutions has been already set up abroad, and foreign institutions in India, and more academic collaboration is also been emphasized. These reforms mark a steady step towards achieving national education policy's vision of a holistic, inclusive, and technology-integrated education system. However, continuous efforts in implementation and adoption will be crucial to realizing its full impact across all levels of learning. And we do have enough time, because even NEP talks about 2035 or 2040 as our goal. Let's understand also what really NEP has transformed in the last 5 years. With the introduction of NEP, the direct impact is seen in the student enrollment. The student enrollment has surged, reaching to 4.45 crore in higher education. See, this is the data of even 22-23 as per IFHE data. With female enrollment in STEM education surpassing 43%. This is from the AICT data. 43% of students today are girls students, which is a big. Remember, in engineering, very few girls used to come. You might have heard stories from Dr. Sudha Murthy that when she graduated in mechanical engineering, Tatas didn't want to give her the job. Even though she would perform, they were the first rank holder. But she had a fight with JRD and got her job at Hyderabad. That's the kind of a transformation we have seen now with 43% girl student entering into STEM education. Indian higher education is expanding. Can you mute them, please? You have to mute all of them. Mute all of them. With the introduction of MEP, as I told you, 20% increase in the last 10 years itself. Central universities, number of central universities, and number of colleges, particularly government and private colleges, 20% increase. And then if you can look at it last 10 years again, 60% increase in the universities. Number of universities have increased by 60%. So what it means to you is from 760 universities were there 10 years back, and today we have close to 1,230. 43% increase in IITs. IITs were actually 13 and now today is 21. And IITs were 16 and it is 23 today. IIMs were 13 and 21 it has become. But growth in triple ITs is from 9 to 25, which is a phenomenal increase. So budget allocation in higher education also has increased very significantly. So if 10 years back, it is about 26,000 crores was the investment budget allocation for higher education. And today, it is something like 50,000 crores. So this clearly shows that almost 87% increase. And even this doesn't include the scholarships and fellowships given to students. Again, there is an increase even in the scholarships. So the national education policy has really brought a lot of transformation in the last 5 years, by fostering stronger industry-academia collaboration to enhance student employability and innovation. All of you know that today we are the third largest startup capital of the world, with 1,60,000 startups and large number of them have also become unicorns. Okay, and they have brought revenue of $4.5 billion from outside. Friends, at the ICT, we are also aligned with this vision. And we have taken significant strides to bridge the gap between the education and the industry. Close to about 11,000 higher education institutions and about 80,000 companies are registered in the AICTE internship. So we have made internship mandatory for all our students in all our programs. Around 2 crore students have registered on AICTE internship portal. Please remember, we do not have 2 crore students in professional courses. That means we have expanded this internship portal even to non-professional courses and to all universities as well. 35,000 institutes have signed an MOU with industries for internship, placement, etc. only through AICTE funds. And 77 lakhs internships have already been offered through AICTE internship. And we have also launched recently a very large AICTE career portal which hosts 7 lakh employers from across the world. This is a unicorn from Bangalore. So many of you should look at this, register yourself, and we have also made all institutions to register on the AICTE career portal. 6,000 plus institutions have already registered in the career portal. This doesn't just offer you a job or connect you with an industry, but it also allows you to learn newer skills and also create your own resume, discuss your resume with your colleagues or the people like you who are on the portal, and communities where you can even ask questions. What Infosys will ask you in their interview, and what should I answer, and what is my salary? All these mundane questions also will be answered by the AI-assisted chatbots. So people start talking to them, and there is an interview software also on that portal. Friends, we have also emphasized more on research and innovation. Through Institute Innovation Councils, today every institute has an IIC. I think one is there also in IFHE. And we have also made this year mandatory R&D cell in every institution. So as you know, the central government has created this Anusandhan National Research Foundation, ANRF, established under the NRF Act of 2023, which strengthens the NEP's 2020's focus on research and innovation. And now even private universities can apply for research funding. It is not only limited to IITs and IIMs and IIS. Publication in engineering has increased, ladies and gentlemen, significantly from 30,000 in 2014 to 75,000 in 2024. That means close to about 150% increase jump in publications. Patent filing rose from 55% in 2014 to 66,000 patents in 21-22, reflecting a growing innovation mindset, and 1/4 of them have been also granted. The One Nation, One Subscription is a very, very unique scheme approved in November 2024, gives access to 6,300 government higher education institutions, and the R&D bodies access close to about 13,000 e-journals free of cost, with a close to about 6,000 crore allocation only for this. This is a very unique program of the government of India. That means accessing all journals on one stop on your computer. Friends, new centers of excellence in AI and health. AIMS Delhi is the coordinating institute. Agriculture is IIT Ropar. Sustainable cities IIT Kanpur. And education is also being planned to be set up soon. Around 2,500 higher education institutions and 300 universities have set up R&D cells already this year, because we made this year as a mandate. So digital learning is going to be the key pillar for NEP's 2020 vision for flexible and accessible education, which has seen the remarkable growth. Friends, the Swayam platform and Swayam Plus platform, I think many of you have already started using, which has emerged as a leading choice for students and institutions, offering close to about 15,000 online courses across disciplines. About 370 universities have integrated Swayam courses already into their academic offering. Those who have not done it, please do this. This is a very, that means both UGC and AICTE have said 40% of the courses can be taken through Swayam and Swayam Plus, and which will be part of your credit system, which emphasizes on self-learning, so that students becomes very, very conscious about what they learn, what they read, what they learn. The most important thing we are going to emphasize on is online and open distance learning. He is also flourishing in the nation. Because I'm very happy to say that in this campus, because we started that as a major activity here. So today, more than 5 crore enrollments are happening on online and distance. Expanding the reach of quality education. 40 DTH TV channels are broadcasting educational content 24/7, ensuring inclusive access even in regions with limited internet connectivity. Promoting innovation and entrepreneurship, as I told you, more than 15,000 IICs have been established by AICTE, covering all the 28 states and the 8 union territories. And we have also created 425 idea labs, where students can do an experiential learning and create their own products. Smart India Hackathon is world's biggest hackathon, largest open innovation model, which has seen so far 15 lakh students since 2017. And last year itself, almost 300,000 students passed. And this year it is already announced, we are getting large traction on SIH 2025. And as you know, this SIH, Honorable Prime Minister interacts with the winning teams, and he has interacted consecutively from 2017 to 2020. We have also conducted international hackathons at AICTE, ASEAN, and UNESCO India African hackathons. So more than 600 innovators from 22 countries have traveled to India and also participated here. Friends, AICTE's work on popularizing Indian knowledge system is also excellent. 53 IK centers have been set up for catalyzing original research, education, and dissemination related to Indian knowledge and Indian languages. And I'm very happy to hear from IFHE also they are trying to write case stories on the Indian knowledge. 38 IKS courses across subjects like mathematics, astronomy, aesthetics, logic, health, management have already been offered in 12 institutions. So many internships also being provided for IKS. And friends, in multilingual education, as I told you, 54 engineering courses offered in 8 regional languages across 10 states. Engineering, medical, law, UG, PG, skill books already developed and they are available for free in 12 or 13 languages. It is there in e-kum portal of AICTE. Look at for first year and second year engineering books. They are not run-of-the-mill textbooks. They are outcome-based engineering textbooks based on outcome-based education. And it is written by one of the senior professors of IIT, IISc, and also our universities. So the next biggest scheme is Bharatiya Bhasha Pustak Scheme, BBPS. This scheme is announced in the year 25-26, which will provide digital Indian language books for school and higher education to aid student understanding. So there will be more than 50,000 books in the year one. So please think about, when a researcher or a faculty start writing a book, it itself is a huge phenomenon. Okay, he has to research, and the research culture and will come into his mind. Institutional best practices in implementing NEP. I would like to highlight establishing multidisciplinary clusters and NERUs, that is Model Multidisciplinary Education Research University, is one of the focus of the Government of India. You might have seen many universities this year received, that is the World Rusa scheme. Okay, this year is called PM Usha scheme. Large number of grants have been given to universities to become MERU. MERU is Model Multidisciplinary Education and Research University. So we have also created flexible entry-exit structures aligned with National Credit Framework and National Higher Education Quality Framework. Introducing apprenticeship embedded degree programs, we have provided working professional program for any working professional to study in engineering, starting from ITI student to a diploma to an engineering to MTech or MBA. MBA was there anyway, but MTech was not there. MTech and then you can PhD also. That means we have identified good institutions, more than 400 institutions are really participating in offering working professional program in a flexible manner beyond working hours, that means 5:30. But the degrees given will be a regular degree, no part-time, no evening degrees. Okay. So because as for the outcome of based education, if it is followed, if outcome is same, it doesn't matter whether you learn digitally online or you go to an evening program or you do a part-time degree program. So that's the concept. That means there are now onwards, there are no evening degrees, there are no part-time degrees. It's all same degree. It's a very, very important, because otherwise we are not creating a second grade the graduates. See, that's the very important thing. So we have encouraged institutions to leverage digital tools like Samarth, ERP, enterprise solutions, and Anuvadini, which is again AI-driven language translation tool, and NETF for tech integration in governance. Promoting Indian knowledge system by embedding ancient wisdom into modern curricula, creation of digital universities in the offering as an aggregator, and provide multiple opportunities for students. All of this is only to provide multiple opportunities to the student to pursue higher education and also to skilling. Friends, this is a time for collaboration, not for competition. So why I say that universities must mentor colleges. So nearby colleges also have greater strength. Some courses which are offered, so there must be a easier transformation through APAR ID and academic bank of credits. You should be able to take courses from anywhere and aggregate that into your ABC, and universities to start accepting with certain due diligence. So experienced faculty must train the next generation of educators. Faculty training is also important. I have written recently an article on how important it is in the technologically disrupted world. So accelerating the NEP mandate by focusing on enhancing capacity of institution to internationalize the reforms, building robust digital infrastructure for teaching, governance, and research is important. Encouraging student mobility and credit accumulation with ABC and natural credit. All these are all happening activities at the institution. So why I say that is today on APAR ID or Academic Bank of Credits, we have close to about 32 crore plus students registered already. So encouraging student mobility and credit accumulation with Academic Bank of Credit is the one focus. I think institutions should follow that very actively. Making vocational education mainstream is also very important. So there are a lot of steps we have done already in making vocational education mainstream through integration at every level. Uplifting socio-economically disadvantaged groups with targeted scholarships, inclusion policies, and localized curriculum delivery. The success of NEP, friends, will be measured not just by the number of policies adopted, but by the impact it creates on students, especially the first generation learner, the rural girl child, the aspiring researchers, and the entrepreneur in the making. These are the people, who going to, the count of these numbers are going to show the impact of the NEP. Friends, NEP 2020 gives us a compass, but it is our collective consent and conviction that will determine the destination. Let us remember, education is not just about employability, it is about enlightenment. But in reality, education is about employment. So employability is a very key aspect, and we are focused on that employability through national portals like Career Portal and also Placement Portal and AICTE. And we have also brought together all the training and placement officers of all the institutions, and several meetings we had, and how to. The newest one is we jointly with NITI Aayog and AICTE along with CII launched the DX Edge program, making all our micro, small, and medium enterprises. You know how many are there? 8 crore MSMEs are there in India. Okay? And you are assuming that 60-70% of them were very, reasonably good, more than 50 crore turnover. And if they adopt, because they also have to change because of the technology disruption and AI, generative AI, and agentic AI. So each of our students can be trained in these newer tools. And I have to tell you, more than 50% of our students in engineering education is in these emerging areas already. So we have a good talent and who can be trained on these tools to make our MSMEs profitable. Automatically, we can give jobs more than 2 for everybody, because there are so many companies which we do not have so many students. See, today in professional courses, close to about 1.3 crore children are there, but we have, as I told you, 8 crore MSMEs. Friends, we are here to discuss about how India has progressed also through these new implementation clarification. I will tell you, we are in the golden time. It's a fantastic time when, particularly in technical education, we have done so well. Even though we are hearing noises about the quality, availability of teachers, ghost faculty, and all those issues. But please remember, majority of our engineers are now everywhere. Every country, an Indian engineer is working. I just counted close to about 3 crore engineers we have produced since 80s in India. They are there in every companies of the world. And particularly in the last few years, 2 years, we have seen large number of global capability centers are being established in India. So close to about 3,000 of them. And some of the companies, they will not disclose to you how many engineers they are hiring, but they are a big number. One such company, I don't want to name here, has in one location 65,000 engineers. 65,000. Okay. So that's the kind of numbers. That means why they are all coming here. These are all international companies. They are coming here because we have a very talented pool with knowledge and skills in the emerging areas, whether it is data science, artificial intelligence. So I just have to tell you one simple story. With that I will conclude. When I was a director at IIT Guwahati, one philanthropist from Houston, Texas came to me to establish a school of data science and artificial intelligence. He said, I would like to fund this in the Northeast, but you have to do a JE Advanced, through JE Advanced, undergraduate BTech program in data science. So we started in 2021 and we hired a new faculty. All that is fantastically running. And as soon as I joined AICT in December 22, I asked my officers how many colleges are offering program in data science. To my surprise, more than 1,000 colleges started offering this model of data science and AI, either computer science, in bracket data science and AI. From 2017 itself, that means by 2021, one batch of students have already graduated. This is the kind of numbers India has produced, whether the engineering graduates or so. The success is what we are seeing today, whether it is in space technology, defense technology. We are already, exporting our defense equipments to 65 countries. This all happened in the last 6, 7, 8 years. And I was there in the Baba Atomic Research Center for the foundation day. To my own surprise, amazing work is happening at Bar through their 11 institutions. Not creating energy, I'm not talking about nuclear energy, not talking about bomb. So what they created using medical isotopes and treatment of cancer patients. Amazing work. One institution is doing for the entire country. This is a mind-boggling work they have done. And I don't need to tell you digital public infrastructure what India has done, because all of you are very knowledgeable. So this is amazing. So we have redefined the financial literacy terms. So today, a person in a small village who doesn't know how to read, write, and how to sign puts you a QR code and collects money, either for selling a coconut or a vegetable or anything. So that's the kind of thing which has happened today. We have become fourth largest economy already, and in higher education they are very significant because number of engineering PhD holders are already, we are the top 6, papers here in the top 5, patents here in the top 6. So there's a time, is a golden time. We are able to rise to higher levels, and this NEP has provided that route much easier and flexible for all our students. So with this, I would like to say, Vikasit Bharat by 2047 is no more a dream that is like. You see, the developments in infrastructure, roads, highways, airports, and even in airports, now many of you are using Digi entry. We are the only nation, ladies and gentlemen, using faces and ID, you can fearlessly walk into an airplane. No other country. I just returned from US. They are so scared, they will scan you through 3D scanners everywhere. So this kind of a development, particularly my appeal to the young people, this is a time for it. This is the Amrit Kal. And whatever you want to dream, whatever you want to do, you will be able to do this. This is a time you become an entrepreneur. You become a job creator than job seeker. So in our time, we never had heard about placement itself. I joined civil engineering during my time because my father said you can get a job in PWD. Because there were only 2 jobs that time. One is PWD for civil engineers and for the electricity board for electrical engineers. All of us used to only depend on that. But today, many institutions, private institutions, claim 80-85% of placement. We are also hearing the other side of there is no jobs. So I will tell you there are plenty of jobs, but you need to be skilled. So today degrees are no more very relevant, but still is required. You should acquire higher education, but you also have to identify a skill and be proficient. And in this world of disruption, particularly with agentic AI coming to work with you, they will be sitting with you parallelly and doing much better job than you. At this time, I was talking to Professor Bhaskar Rao on case stories of this. So all of these will be done by ChatGPT and such tools, okay, which our management gurus used to take a lot of time to study, go to the town and understand and everything, but this will be done in 10 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. The poem I read out came out in 20 seconds. If someone has to write a poem about AICT, he should be a poet, no? Poet should understand what the NEP is and what is done, but this machine has done it in 20 seconds. That's the fear what all of us have. We need to upskill ourselves continuously, use the technology, adopt yourself to a new world order, and we have a bigger job to train our teachers to adopt to this than our young people. Because young people are tech savvy, they are very fast. But the new Gen Z is good, but we have to prepare ourselves, teachers. So the big effort of AICT is to train next generation teachers. We are doing, our Atal Academy is doing a lot of work. The AICT Teaching and Learning Academy have trained in the last 2 years 300,000 teachers. And we offer large number of programs across. So last word, what we need to do in the next phase of NEP implementation. We need to empower our board of studies, senate, and academic councils, take decisions here, not wait for regulator to issue a decision. That's very important. You know, IIT Bombay, I went for the convocation in civil engineering. 12 years back, the student had registered for his degree, somehow he could not come. He came back after 12 years, completed his degree, and that is the flexibility we should give to our country. So we should be very flexible. As long as our assessments are good, evaluations are good, we should allow them to complete the degree even after 12 years. Even though UGC says 7 years. Remember, UGC document still says 7 years. So, but that can be done only when we empower our board of studies, our senate, our academic councils, and our vice chancellors. And also they have to take the freedom. So let us pledge to make our campuses more inclusive, ladies and gentlemen, multidisciplinary, research-driven, and globally competent, while being rooted in Indian values. So with that, I would like to conclude. I would like to thank IFHE for inviting me here to share some of my thoughts. And I believe the last word is together. Let's work together. We should realize the true spirit of National Education Policy 2020, an education system that is not only the best in the world, but also the best for you. Why I'm saying is, we will be the engineers of the world. We will be the managers of the world today. Already we are. If you look at all the tech companies in USA are headed by Indians. This is only the 29% of class enrollment ratio. Imagine now, by 2035, we will be 50% GER. Our people will be omnipresent in every country, every company. Thank you very much.
So, your words were deeply insightful and truly enriching. I'd like to take a moment to truly appreciate what Sir said earlier. It's especially inspiring at a time when we are witnessing a significant rise in girls actively participating in higher education and STEM fields, a clear indication that the policy's emphasis on inclusivity and equity in beginning the bear fruit. And in a world rapidly being reshaped by AI and emerging technologies, Sir rightly pointed out that the need for future-proof our students not just the academic knowledge, but with digital fluency and critical thinking and creativity. It's voices like theirs that add real value to such important conversations. We request now Professor T.G. Sitaram and all the dignitaries to release the conference proceedings. Now we request Professor L.S. Ganesh to felicitate Lieutenant General M.D. Venkatesh, who is present with us virtually.
Thank you so much.
Now we request Srimati Shubharani Yashasvi Garu, Sri V.R. Shankara Garu to felicitate Professor T.G. Sitaram. We also request Professor L.S. Ganesh and Dr. J. Mahendra Reddy to felicitate T.G. Sitaram. We now invite Professor Sanjeev Datta sir to deliver the word of thanks.
Good morning. Good morning. Sorry, getting the afternoon. So, a few seconds.
Dr. Sanjeev is world number 3 in his way.
as well here included. So we want education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's feet. The use of higher education is to find out how to solve the problems of life, and this is what is engaging the profound thought of the modern civilized world. But it was solved in our country thousands of years ago. So said Swami Vivekananda. As we come to the conclusion of this insightful and enriching inaugural program of the two-day conference on transformative reforms in higher education, best practices in implementation of NEP 2020, it is my honor to deliver the words of thanks on behalf of IFHE Foundation for Higher Education and the organizing committee. First and foremost, I extend our deepest gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, Professor P.G. Sitaram, for your inspiring keynote address. Your valuable insights have significantly contributed to the success of this event and have provided us with much to reflect upon. A heartfelt thanks to our distinguished guest of honor, Professor M.D. Venkatesh. Your presentation has been incredibly informative and engaging, offering us new perspectives and ideas. We would like to thank Srimati Shobharani Yashasvi Ma'am, Chairperson, IFHE Society, Sri Veeraj Shankara Sir, President IFHE Society, Dr. P. Venkateshwarlu, Member Secretary of IFHE Society, for your gracious presence, both offline and online. We express our gratitude to Professor Alice Ganesh, Vice Chancellor, and Dr. F. Vijayalakshmi, Registrar, and also the officiating Registrar, Professor Shashikala, for providing timely support and guidance. We thank members of the Conference Advisory Committee, Professor Mudhu Vinayak, Pro Vice Chancellor, IFHE Foundation for Higher Education, off campus, Professor Venugopal Rao, Director, IFHE Business School, Hyderabad, Professor K. L. Narayana, Director, IFHE Tech, Professor Ravi Shekhara Raju, Director, IFHE Law School, Professor C.S. Sarajan, Director, IFHE School of Social Sciences, and Professor Munawar Pasha, Principal, IFHE School of Architecture, for their guidance and advice. We would also like to thank all the deans, associate deans, heads of departments, and faculty colleagues for their encouragement and support and cooperation. We are thankful to Colonel Vishwanath, retired Director Administration, Professor K. Pushpa, Librarian, IFHE Foundation for Higher Education, Sri Samad Nuris, Joint Registrar, for their support and cooperation. To our dedicated organizing committee and the student volunteers, thank you for your tireless efforts and meticulous planning. Your hard work behind the scenes has ensured the smooth execution of this conference inaugural session. We also extend our appreciation to the branding and communications team of IFHE Group for their support and for being instrumental in organizing this event and providing us with all the possible ways and means to organize this event. A special thanks to all the participants and attendees. Your presence has made this event a truly collaborative success. Lastly, I would like to thank the venue staff for their excellent service and hospitality. Your efforts have made everyone feel comfortable and welcome. Thank you all and look forward to the remaining rest of the day and tomorrow. Thank you.
We now request everybody to stand up for the national anthem. I would like to request all the audiences to wait, all the guests and the dignitaries and the faculties to move outside in the front academics for a group photo.